Hey everybody, Ash here, and welcome to Super Crate Box. It's a good thing I have it written right there, actually, otherwise I probably would have said Super Box Crate. This is a fun little indie game that I found on Steam quite a while back, actually. It was one of the first games I downloaded when I was starting to prep to begin doing Let's Plays, and just recently got around to playing it, and, well, one reviewer said it is slightly less addicting than crack cocaine. And I think he was understating the situation. This game is crazy fun and crazy addicting. Just a couple of failed attempts here to show you sort of what this is like to play this game. You have to run around getting these crates and dodging all these enemies, and each time you get a crate, you get a new weapon. Some of them are good, some of them are kind of crappy. I've got a decent weapon here with the revolver, but didn't end that one very well. This was painful here. I'll explain why in a minute, but yeah, it's one hit from the enemies and you're dead, and you're starting over. You see the number up at the top? That means I've gotten 38 crates, and the exclamation mark means that that's my record on the level. I unlocked a disc gun. That's a fun one. So, anyway, the way this game works is there's really no end point. There's really no winning to it. It's a test of endurance, and it's a survival game, essentially. So in terms of progress, it's really a series of things that you unlock. You unlock subsequent levels, and you unlock subsequent difficulty levels, as well as characters and weapons and things. So in order to unlock the next difficulty level on each stage, you have to collect 40 crates on the normal difficulty, so that's what I've decided to go for in this video, is collecting 40 crates in each of the 3 stages to unlock the next difficulty level in each one. So that's sort of how I've sort of defined winning normal, winning the normal level. So you saw a few failed attempts earlier. This is my successful attempt, actually, where I got the 40 crates. So I'll just talk a little bit about each of the weapons and some of the strategy as we go along. Revolver is an excellent weapon. All the little enemies takes them out in one shot, and those big guys, 2 shots and they're done. So the revolver is a great weapon for clearing out a lot of enemies, especially little enemies. Now you see that one guy turned red there. If the enemies fall into the fire at the bottom of the screen, they turn red, which means they get angry and they start running a lot faster, which makes them a lot more difficult to dodge. All the enemies can go in the fire. Those flying white guys don't do it very often, but when they do, they're easily the most dangerous. It reminds me of that ghost thing that comes in Bubble Bobble, actually, if you take too long. The ghost thing that starts flying at you. Has anyone played Bubble Bobble? Am I old? Am I the only one who's played Bubble Bobble? I wish you guys could answer me, although then again, you'd probably just heckle me. Bazooka is another awesome weapon. It's got this area of effect attack that it basically will take out any enemy that touches that area of effect. So it's an excellent weapon for clearing out enemies. Now, dual pistols sounds like it should be good, but it actually sucks. It's basically it's exactly the pistol that you start off the level with before you get any crates, which sucks. And you get one on either side. So there are a few situations where it's actually kind of useful, but they're few and far between. I'm not sure if we see any in any of these runs, but yeah, again with the revolver, as you can see, it's a good one for clearing out enemies. And so part of the strategy of this game is really, it's all about deciding when to go for the crate and when to go for enemies. In a lot of games, when you find a great weapon, you want to hang on to it. In this game, you can't do that because it's getting crates that advances your score. And, well, you know, so you can't advance the game if you don't get crates. But each time you get a crate, of course, you get a different weapon. I got the 40 crates there, so I just let them kill me. Unlocking, so SFMT mode is what they call the next difficulty level. And I'm not entirely sure what that stands for. So you can see the mines there that I use. Woo! Disc gun, okay. So the mines are pretty straightforward. That was pretty pathetic. The disc gun is the one weapon where your own projectile will actually kill you if it hits you. And so you know, it slices through the enemies pretty handily, but if it bounces back. There's me falling in the fire because I'm awesome. There's me dying while I'm trying to slice guys. I think this is the successful run. There was just some of my more entertaining fails there, but this is the successful one. So where was I? Talking about mines. So mines, you can leave them around, the enemies hit them, and they're like the bazooka. They will kill anything in one shot. So there's some strategy in as far as the best places to place them. The laser gun is pretty good if you can use it well, but it's difficult to aim and use it properly because it has this charge up time. So you have to time your shots pretty good. But it has this, while it's charging up, there's sort of that field of energy coming off the front of the gun, and that's basically invincible. Any enemy touches that, it'll kill them right away. The katana is another great weapon. One shot kills on most enemies, 2 shots on the big enemies. So if you use it well, it's pretty effective. There's the bazooka taking out a big guy. As I was saying, a lot of the strategy is deciding when to go for enemies and when to go for the crates. And for me, my priority is the crates. Unless if there's a lot of enemies on the screen and I happen to get a really good weapon, I'll pause from getting the crates and I'll really try to clear out the enemies because they don't go away. Like I said, if they hit the bottom of the screen and they fall in that hole, they don't go away. They just come back angrier and faster. Ooh, the minigun. That's a good weapon. The grenade launcher is also good. It's hard to aim, but it's got a faster firing rate than the bazooka does. It has about the same power as the bazooka, but you fire it faster. But it is harder to aim because it arcs like that. The machine gun, really good. It just sort of fires normal bullets like your pistol, but it fires a lot of them. And the shotgun is also really good. Fires a lot of projectiles, but very low range and quite a lot of spread. But I mean, at close range, you can see I just took 2 guys out in one shot there. It can be really good for clearing out enemies that are really close to you. So here you can see I'm not going for the crate, and I'm pausing to try and take out some of these enemies. And I did some. Well, actually, that happens later. I'll talk about it. Yeah, the minigun, of course, really good. Just fires normal bullets, but they're so super fast that, I mean, you can clear out a lot of enemies with the minigun. And if you're against the wall, you kind of hover against the wall a little bit because there's so much kickback on this weapon. The kickback is actually equal to your walking speed. So if you're walking forward at full speed and you're firing that, you'll stand still. So that's one way to sort of stand still and fire it, but you can't walk and fire at the same time. Flamethrower, again, another great weapon for clearing out enemies. It takes a bit to get those big guys, but I mean, again, it's so this is one of the things that is really unique about this game, is that you're constantly having to change up your strategy. With each weapon you get, you have to use a different strategy, and so you have to adapt to the situation and to the weapon that you have. So you can't just become really good with one weapon and, hope you get it, because, that's a pretty effective use of the laser rifle, actually. That was a nice shot there. It's hard to aim that laser rifle, especially if you're aiming for enemies that are on a different level than you, or those flying white guys that float around. Those guys are so annoying. Oh, I hit the 40. Okay, so just takes them a while to find me, but they they eventually found me there. So unlocked SFMT mode there. This is the third and final level, which is has 2 pits, one of which I just fell into. This kind of bit it here. Fired that just a little too late, and was doing pretty good until I fell on the fire there. Shotgun. So this is an example of a very difficult situation where to be caught with a particular weapon. The shotgun is not the greatest weapon for this, where you have guys running everywhere at top speed, because it's really hard to hit them. I managed to see that white guy sneaking up behind me. Believe it or not, it can be really difficult to keep track of those white guys, because you're focusing on you're focusing on the guys that are running around like crazy, and then they might just float and sneak up behind you. But finally I decided to make my move here. Oh, and that was pretty pretty epic fail. I got out of that. Oh, killed myself with the disc gun there. And again. So, and that was, again, this is just me. That was some pretty good use of the laser rifle, but again, this is, oh, and then I got all the way to 36 on this particular one. But, and you can just feel me cringing there with that pause, but I was expecting the mine to kill that little green guy, but the mine, there's a delay. After you place it down, there's a second or two before it actually arms, and so he just walked right over it and killed me, and I didn't react fast enough. So here's my 40 crate run on this level with the Sacred Temple, and it was actually my 4-year-old daughter who was sitting in my lap for part of the time that I was recording these. But notice that statue in the middle actually moves every time you pick up a crate. It moves up a little bit, and I hadn't noticed that because I'm so focused on the foreground action, of course. But yeah, it doesn't really affect your gameplay at all. But it's a nice little detail that the devs threw in. It's kind of nice. All right. So I'm trying to think if there's any weapons that we haven't seen yet that I haven't mentioned. See, I went up and over there. It's surprisingly difficult to jump over those little pits, and so I always avoid it when I can. It's pretty much a frame-perfect jump, especially on this level where you have where you're actually having to jump up a bit onto a ledge. Okay, yeah, so this is one of my favorite things to do with the minigun is just sit there and spray bullets until most of the enemies are cleared out. That works pretty well. Okay, again with the grenade launcher, and then whoa, okay, that was pretty close. Kind of run out of things to say. Boom! Eat it, white guy. Those white guys. They're slow moving. You wouldn't think they're very difficult, but like, yeah, they can really be a pain, especially when there's a bunch of them. So I'll take every opportunity to clear those guys out if I can. So, so I think we've seen all the weapons here, really. The katana, when you hit the big guys with the katana, they turn around and they start walking away from you. So that's one way to deal with them. So, all right, hit the 40 crates, and then I'm just like, heck yeah, eat it, you little guys. And this is a trick I use sometimes when if I stand against the wall with the bazooka or right against an enemy. I did it there, but you're not hurt by your own projectiles. So if you fire the bazooka right into a wall, it sort of creates this little force field around you where enemies can't get you. So this is just to give you a little bit of an idea of what SFMT mode is all about. And so my next video here is going to be trying to beat all 3 levels on SFMT mode, and you only have to get 20 crates to beat SFMT mode. But as you can see, there's so many enemies. Like their spawn rate is so much faster, and the little guys, instead of spawning in groups of 3, they spawn in groups of 4, and just all kinds. So you can just see how crazy it gets. If I was still playing, that would just be nuts. Thanks so much for watching this Superbox crate. I recommend you check it out. You can get it on Steam. It's from a developer called Vlambeer, and it's just a super fun game. I have killed way too much time playing this game and just thinking, oh, I can do better than that. And so I just keep on playing. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to hit that little like button or even subscribe if you want to see more from me. I do Let's Plays of all different kinds of games. But that's all for now, and I'll see you next time.